All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Dushawn Williams. Welcome to Gaming Over 30. I'm here with a guest. My wife. Y'all met her before. Sorry about that. Laura Guetta. Um, she is kind of subbing in for Chris today. Chris is not feeling too well, so hopefully he'll be here next week. But for now, you're gonna have to deal with me for a little bit. Kind of like a new version of my setup room and everything, just to try some stuff out and see how two people can fit on camera. And so far, getting that 16 millimeter lens actually works out really well. How's it going?
It's going well. It's been a long day.
Has been a long day. And if you see the title of this video, you know today is Black Friday. And so we kind of wanted to talk about that. But before I go into anything myself and kind of all the stuff that I normally say, Laura, how was today's Black Friday?
It's very tiring.
Very tiring?
Very tiring. You drag me through many, many stores.
I can drag many stores. Like count the stores.
Best Buy,
One.
Nebraska counts like 5 stores.
No,
It's
one.
as big
It
as 5 stores.
doesn't matter. Still one. Still counts.
Target,
Target,
Walmart.
Walmart.
Then you took me to those 2 theaters.
You didn't go in them, so
I
it doesn't
still
count.
have to
You
go.
passed out in the car on both of them, so it don't count for you.
Yes, it does.
And they
I
weren't
have to
even
go.
like 30s. Of course, you had to go. Like we didn't come in to go in different cars. You went to sleep. Go on.
And another Best Buy.
And another Best Buy. So it's still 5.
And Chipotle.
Chipotle don't count,
Yes,
but
it does.
it's like Chipotle's food. We needed food at the end of our day, so we did go out Black Friday. We always go out to Black Friday pretty much every single year, mainly because we like to try to get a lot of our main bulk stuff around this time, and this time was no different. We had kind of like a lot of quality of life stuff that we wanted to get, as well as some stuff that we just kind of needed to improve on, as well as, of course, some games. Well, this year I haven't really finished all my Black Friday shopping, even at the recording or as we're live right now. I'm probably going to still look at some stuff. I didn't get a chance to go to GameStop today, but I was able to kind of grab some games, and pretty much everything is online, which has been pretty much the biggest change. Trying to shop for Black Friday this year. Online has been a big thing. Amazon has already kind of done some stuff. But like how did you feel like this year was different?
I guess it was different because not all sales were just on Friday. They did the sales like throughout the week. I mean, some people I think throughout the month.
Mm-hmm.
But like Walmart had everything all week long, so I don't feel like technically we missed out on Walmart. I think that's why we were like, yeah, we'll just go to it last because a lot of the stuff we had already seen, and unfortunately, a lot of stuff sold out faster because they sold it out online.
Yeah. I know for a lot of times though, we don't really go to like some of the stores opening, like Walmart. We don't bother only because it's like there's way too many people trying to go to Walmart. There's too many people trying to tackle like the one few items. So it's like if it's not something that's very particular, we probably won't go there first. Like today, we went to Best Buy first, but only because there's a particular Best Buy that's not really busy on Black Friday,
Yeah.
but they're one of the good ones to go to. And so we can go get like those early deals and stuff. I think one we kind of completely missed out on because we just didn't think about it and stuff, and they didn't have physical ads. So it's like you
Yeah.
had to just use the phone for everything.
I think that's very annoying when they don't have a physical ad because, like, yeah, you have so many ads on your phone and then saving them. It's not like you remember like what page, and yeah, it gets really annoying. But I think our wants and our needs have changed throughout the years because the
Yeah.
Walmart used to be a big one for us. I've been your Black Friday sidekick for what?
I want to say like 5-6 years now.
No,
Well,
I
it's
used to go
definitely a lot
before. Yeah,
longer, but
it's a lot
but
longer.
like it was before it was like fun and games, but now like we've have done a lot of stuff for the house, for like when we moved, and some of the stuff that like we're using today.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I think Walmart was really important for us when we were first moving in together
mhm,
into our apartment because we got a lot of our stuff, towels, mats, shower curtains, everything that you don't think you're gonna need.
mhm.
We got at Walmart. So I think that was like a big one at that point. But now that we have a lot of all those little things, we're like, yeah, I don't really need any more pots. I don't need any more Tupperware that we don't use because yeah, it's a ripoff.
Yeah. So when we moved to Dallas our first year, I already got accepted for a new job, and they were moving us here to Dallas, and we went ahead, and it was right after New Year's where we had to actually move to Dallas, but I knew around this time that I already had the job. So what we did was we used Black Friday to buy all the basic stuff that we would need for the apartment. So we got the coffee machines, we got the towels, we got the
Rice
dinnerware
cooker.
set, the rice cooker, pretty much everything that normally people wouldn't have. That's kind of where we went to go buy. Like, when we had couches and stuff already for some other stuff, but we did, use Black Friday as a way of just kind of getting all the necessities out of the door. And so, and then it was great because it's always, really fairly priced when we kind of do it that way. Like, yeah, we might not get like, the really cheap TVs that those probably weren't like really necessities,
Mhm.
but definitely having a full kitchen set, being able to cook and eat with stuff. And I think that kind of worked out when, places stuff don't cost like $200. You can get it for like 30.
Yeah,
Mm.
we had pots when we first moved in. So a lot of stuff like I think our closets, both our closets were filled up with stuff till we moved.
Yeah, like we
Yeah.
put a lot of stuff to the side because it was just a lot of stuff that we
Yeah.
just couldn't use at the time. And back then, Black Friday, there was a lot. It was always like from like Thursday afternoon to like Saturday,
Mhm.
like midday, and we were able to go to like Kohl's. We El Paso had like two malls that were really relevant to go to, that had a lot, pretty much all the major stores where it was closing or not all that jazz. Of course, J.C. Penney was like a big store for all that stuff. But we kind of went to like a few Walmarts, few Best
Mhm.
Buys, few like just to see like who didn't pick up what, who made it left something. But we normally always kind of got what we kind of needed. But before that, before we ended up actually living together our first year, Best Buy was more wants, because
Mhm.
what better time to buy a ton of games that you were kind of like, do I really need to buy it? Do I really need to, get it at the moment? Black Friday came in saying, "Well, you can get it now because it's half off, or like two-thirds of the price." And so that's kind of what I normally did for Black Friday. Was if I wanted something, I think I actually got the Xbox Series X on Black Friday. No, not the Series X, the one before, the Xbox One.
Yes.
I got that on Black Friday, and it was just happened to be in a card. Someone just
You
left
left
it,
it
and
there.
I even asked the associate and blah blah blah, like, "Hey, who is this?" Like, "Oh, I don't know," and it was like, "Oh, well, I got money, let me and let me go ahead and go get that." So back then, it was a lot more like want. We wanted to kind of get a lot of stuff, so our stores also changed a lot too, because even we were going like Barnes and Nobles to see if I can get some books or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you went to like Agassi a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Um,
Well, for me, for you, it was more like all the video games, and then I
yeah.
would go so that way if they would tell you like there's a limit. I think controllers. There was always a limit with controllers, and you would be like, you buy one, I buy basically,
Mhm.
or he would send me pictures of the games he wanted, and then I would go around the stores to see if anybody dropped it or because I hated it. I hated it. They always did. Walmart always does this where they have part of the video games in one section and then another display in another section and then
Mhm.
another display. So we would kind of split and then be like, this is what I found.
Yeah, and what we kind of did like a ton was that basically it was Easter. Like we had our own Easter list. We had where we needed to go, what we needed to do, and all that jazz. And we would say, okay, you're gonna go to there. I'm gonna go here. These are the things that we need to try and find. We'll cross this stuff off and go. Because that's basically where I got a lot of my games I wanted to try out. Because even this year, there are some games that I skipped. Like I didn't buy Elden Ring this year because normally with those type of from software titles are not something that I would normally play. But a lot of people raved about it, but I wasn't gonna fall into the same trap like I did with Sekiro and all that. So I was like, I'll wait till it goes down. And I think this year the lowest it went down was $35. And I was like, you know what, for a game that people still loving to this day, I think I could pay $35 to try it out and see if I understand all the big stuff. And I think it was worthwhile. So it was just one of those things where it's like I've been rinsing repeating this since I was young, of like kind of getting stuff, because not everything you can't really buy every game, especially when I buy collector's editions. I always put off like games that I'm somewhat interested off to make sure that I can afford things like the God of War thing in the back. And then I normally would like, hey, $100, I'll get like 6, 7 games with that $100. And normally that's how it always works. But yeah, we have vastly changed since then. And I think
We
now
have
it's just like we go to Black Friday literally for like updating like our life and all that.
I think we gotten better at planning. I think we know Black Friday is coming and we look around the house of what we want to replace or what we want to upgrade. Um and then we plan to make sure, we have money. That's the main thing. Like we're able to afford it. So we plan ahead to make sure we have a little bit of savings to be able to take advantage of whatever deals there is. Sometimes it
Mhm.
works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we spend too much money that we didn't need to, or sometimes, like today, we ended up getting stuff that we didn't think we were gonna get, but it was needed.
Well, and I think I say that we don't really plan. We plan like money wise, but we don't plan like what we're doing because I'm
We
starting
don't
to
know.
get older about it nowadays. Like before, like I was able to better plan it out. I could better see stuff, and I took more time in a leeway to actually kind of do stuff. But now it's like, well, I know Best Buy will have something for me. So let's just go. We know
But
Nebraska's oh, it hasn't really
yeah.
failed us, so
But
we'll
we
go.
do somewhat plan it because we do know what's gonna be on sale. It's
Mhm.
the stuff that we don't know that's gonna be on
Yeah.
sale that
All right, go ahead. It's just we're having people kind of chatting us in different chats, so I gotta see where everybody's at.
we don't really know what other stuff's gonna pop out that we're like, oh, this is a really good deal. We can't really pass it. Should we pass it? Should we take it? And yeah, that's why we take so long, and it's such a long day because we do consider: do we just want it or do we need it? And that's a big question that we do when we go shopping. But I think for gamers is at least you save a lot of money because you do get the games you want, or you're able to update something
Yeah.
at a cheaper price. And I think those are the stuff that you do plan in advance
Hmm.
versus like the uninspected stuff that we just have, like, oh, this is on sale, we didn't know this was on sale.
Yeah, because they mostly like stuff like Pokemon that came out. Like I knew I was gonna buy it, and it's too close to Black Friday to say that we would actually get like a sale on it. Like I did see some when we were out, but I'm not gonna wait like 2, 3 weeks for $3. Like
Yeah.
it's not doing it for us. It's not gonna be something that's really like, oh my, this is the perfect opportunity. If it came down later, then I probably would do that. But like Mario Party. Like I was trying to find that. That was $30. I'm like, this Mario Party. Like as long as I get it and someone else gets it, we'll be able to kind of play around or play local and stuff like that. But it makes sense. But games like that, I'm not trying to go hunt down as soon as they come out because it's like, well, we don't play Mario Party that much to where like it's like it makes sense to go buy for $60-$70.
Yeah.
Like we can wait for that when like stuff kind of gets a little bit cheaper and all that. But now that we kind of talk about like kind of quality of life stuff, I think we probably just show off some of the stuff that we actually did buy that was like something that we really needed to change, because there are some stuff that really couldn't wait, but we still did anyway. And then some stuff we were kind of just forced in a corner to buy because it was just basically like, hey, well, this is the only way to solve the problem. And that's basically buy it, so that way we could just basically throw money at the problem. That's kind of what it is, to throw money at the problem. Now we don't have to deal with it anymore. So the first thing, that thing that we're talking about is probably the thing that you have right here, which is your new cell phone. Because we don't know what happened, we don't know what Samsung was trying to do, but I think they were just upset that you still had a Galaxy S10 Plus, and was like, we need to find some way to get these people off these old phones. And they're just like, you know what, we gotta send out a bad update. Because I'll have you try to like talk about it, because your frustrations probably feel more real than when I finally realized it was a problem.
I take care of my phones, okay? I do take care of my phone. If my phone was in perfect condition, when the guy was like switching it over, was like, you still have the stickers in the back of the phone, the original stickers, like, yes, they're still there.
Yeah, because that stuff gets scratched. He's not like deep scratches, but you still see like those small scratches and
Yeah.
stuff. No?
I take care of my phone. My phone was in perfect condition, and I have been refusing to upgrade because I like the headphone jack. I just like that, and I like the fact that I can have is it SD card? SD card.
Yeah.
To back up my stuff. I hate the fact that they took it away, and then now I have to pay more money to have more memory. Like that, it's just like does not compute with me.
Mm-hmm.
But this last update that you did for me, you're like, oh yes, you can update.
Well, you have to update your phone.
Yes, and this is why I do not do the updates. The update went through, and voila, I could not make any phone calls on Wi-Fi or not on Wi-Fi. I could hear everybody, but they could not hear me.
Yeah. And it just to say that, because you're on the regular plan, like I think we're using like the T-Mobile Magenta plan that we're kind of utilizing and stuff like that. So you do have a regular cell phone plan, but you when we're at home, we use what kind of like Wi-Fi calling a lot and stuff like that. So we just use the ability to call through Wi-Fi. So it basically is cellular and Wi-Fi that you normally try to make calls on.
Yes. And yes, I talk to my family a lot. It is very frustrating when you have your mom on the other end, like Laura,
Mm-hmm.
and like she cannot hear me. So I have to be hanging up, calling again, hanging up, calling again, and then like Thanksgiving Day, I sent him for rolls, and he's over here sending me pictures and calling me, and he could just not hear me. Like I could not. I moved all around the house. I turned off the Wi-Fi, turned it back on. He could not hear. That was like the last straw. I was like, nope, this is not working for me.
So she basically just had a problem to where she couldn't, like, she could hear everybody, but nobody could hear her. And it was just too constant, I think, for like 2 weeks straight, where it was just kind of like if we were in the, and to me, I kind of wrapped it up as we're just in the area. Maybe like it's just weaker here. The more outside we are in different areas, the more just T-Mobile's just not good for that type of service. But when it was just kind of like, she's downstairs and I'm upstairs, we should be able to have a conversation with each other. We have dead spots here in the house that we want to fix and all that, but we don't have like terabad problems when it came to the network. And it's not like you lost internet or anything on the phone. It's just for some reason like you just couldn't get a word through. And I think when I was out and about, it was Wednesday, I went to different stores ahead of time, and I'm trying to have a conversation with her. Yeah, it was Wednesday. I tried to have a conversation with her to kind of say, hey, I found this thing that we might like, like give me your opinions on it, and just be like just dead silence. And I'd be like, Um,
Are you gonna
let's
tell
see.
him when you
Like,
texted me?
no, we're not going through that. But it was that was just dumb. But that's more that's an Apple problem that I don't even want to get into. But the I was just telling her to just kill her Wi-Fi, just like try to call me regularly, but nothing worked. Like nothing, like it would. She would say like a few things, and we would sound like we're having a conversation going, and then like I'd just be waiting for the response, and then it's just be like nothing, and or sometimes I'd be all like, "Hey, can I get this?" and it'd be like silent, and I'm all like, was she mad at me for trying asking? It's like it was just all kind of other stuff. It's like so like even when we like, hey, I need a decision on something, we couldn't really do it, and so it was just one of those things that was like it was very annoying because I could like video call like my mom and during that
Yeah.
day situation, and we're having a good stream call going on, but I couldn't get like a simple like reply from you. So we ended up upgrading the phone. What did you upgrade it to?
To the S22 Plus. Yes.
So
Which I still need to get a case. But it was the best case scenario because they were doing the trade in plus like another Black Friday deal. So this is what, like about $500 off
you got about $550 off.
from the phone. So it was the best case scenario for someone who has such an old phone. But again, I was kind of forced to. I mean, I could have tried calling Samsung or T-Mobile and let them know, hey, my phone's just, but they're probably gonna tell me like, well, your phone's old,
Yeah.
which is true. But yes,
But it was still very much usable and usable enough to where they say, "Hey, we'll give you $300 plus another 250 on top of it." So it was usable enough to cost more than the PlayStation. That's the way that I see it, and that's kind of what we do for Black Friday when it comes to like upgrading like on phones and stuff. We normally do a Black Friday when the phones come out because we want those extra deals, and that we always take over those because I'm not dropping $1,100, $1,800, even $600 if it's not been after like some concessions and deals and stuff. So we always upgrade and stuff. We always now we get into the habit of just buying unlocked phones because we don't like buying the carrier phones and stuff like that. I just want phone that has not been touched, not been desecrated or whatever, and be able to kind of mess with it after the fact. But that's just a little bit easier. We normally go to Best Buy for all that, but we had a pretty good deal. It was basically half off for everything, and
it was about time. What is it? I haven't gotten a new phone for what, like
I don't even
3.
remember when you got the S10 Plus. I'm still wondering if you even got the S10 Plus in Dallas. That's how long it's been. Like I
Yes,
just don't know.
I did get it in Dallas because I remember I gave my mom my old phone and I had to.
Yeah, but you always give your mom your old phone.
Yes,
It's like,
I know she's
nah,
gonna be.
this time you can't because so your mom's not gonna be able to upgrade this time around. But it needed to happen because it was just one of those things that we needed to trade off. And then we were at Best Buy just for like an hour, just for that, just to have like the changing all the content, migrating it over, and all that. That wasn't all that kind of planning, but it was something that needed to be done. So we're all really happy about it. But
Well, yeah, no, now I need to get new headphones, and that's gonna be.
oh, that's fun because now you get to try out the wireless headphones and learn to love not having cords like I was forced to.
Learn to love you. I'm gonna try all the ones that he has, and then see which one I like the most.
Yeah,
steal it.
yeah, basically. So, what was another thing that we got that was like quality of life? So this was a big one. So me and Laura, we both work at home. And so internet is just something that we always have to make sure works all the time, or we can't do our jobs, blah blah blah. And of course, everything runs on internet around the house, both wired and wireless. And we've been using like a mesh for a while, and everything's been good, but we've been having some weird issues with that. A lot of our devices had a hard time kind of connecting, seeing each other, and we know we had house coverage, except for some reason the hallway in our um
Closet.
well in the house where there's a hallway in the house, it's a dead spot. You walk through it, you're gonna lose everything. So we're just like, you know what? We probably just need something that was just stronger. Like we were using it, like everything was kind of like hatched together and
Mhm.
everything. So we needed something that was stronger. So my thought going out today was I wanted to upgrade to a router that best works with especially the AT&T because we have 2.5 gigabit internet, so we needed something that was going to work for that, and we needed something that was just going to be good. And so we ended up getting this guy, the Aero Pro 6E. I think this is kind of what we ended up settling on because it was just what the one thing I liked about this is like the actual ports of it, whatever, is at 2.5 gigahertz. Because for like the PlayStation, for the media server, home theater, and all that stuff runs through the cable. None of that stuff over there is wireless. And we needed something that we could make sure that we get the internet going over there. But if we had to use wireless, we wanted to make sure that we were kind of getting close because I mean we're paying a good amount of money for decent internet, and it sucks that the internet gets capped at like 1 gig just from the wired connection and when it kind of reaches it and then drops even considerably for like Wi-Fi signal. And so we wanted something that was going to be a little bit stronger. You know, the way that I see it, our jobs depend on it. We wanted to kind of fix some other stuff, and we're hoping like paying a lot this time around kind of does more justice to stuff. I still got to set it all up, and I'm kind of excited to. But even then, I'm still like, well, what if there's a better router? Because this one was like about like 200, almost $300 off
Mhm.
its normal price, and so it's more a more expensive router. But like I said, like when it comes to like gaming, when it comes to stuff like that, you know, we want to make sure stuff just kind of works better on both occasions, and we finally found something that's gonna be a little bit better. So this was like one of the bigger quality of life stuff.
Well, the mesh network worked out pretty well for us in the apartment, and I think it worked out pretty well here for the time being. But it is a bigger place, and it is an older network, which
Yeah,
I think that's what I've learned. That the older devices get, it's harder for them to keep up with the newer technology, and of course, the apartment didn't have um, the internet that we have here, so.
yeah. I mean, and there was a lot of stuff that we could deal with them because of like what where they were happening.
And of course, the walls were hollow.
Yeah, so it's like it's not like we couldn't get signal everywhere in the apartment. It was just basically kind of phased through it like Casper.
Hmm.
But now though, we have actual good thick isolated walls and a lot of other stuff that like 5 gigahertz and 2.44 gigahertz has a real hard time kind of getting around and stuff. Even when it comes to like changing these colors behind me, like sometimes I'll be right here and then I can't see the device because of some wonky stuff that the internet was doing. So
Oh, the freaky part where they just kind of like turn on and off by themselves. That's so freaky because it happens because we have the smart lights around the house, and then sometimes I'm like texting him, "Are you doing this in the bathroom?" It's just going off and on. He's like, "I'm not doing anything."
yeah. So with this was kind of one of the bigger items, and this is one with me now. Like when before all this and stuff, I wouldn't be buying routers and all that. Maybe I'd probably talking to my parents about it stuff, but I as the older that I get, the older or the things I see that I really want to replace. I know in this house I really wanted a lot of stuff wired, but there's just some stuff you just can't do. Our phones are always going to be need to be wireless. Like I said, these lights they're wireless. Every single like 32 panels to make that logo up there is all wireless. It needs to be on a particular network in order for you to connect it with the app. And so basically the phone looks at that as many many different devices hooked onto one network and stuff. And after a while, like I think we just add a lot of stuff once we finally start adding our normal stuff, smart lights, smart switches, smart life, whatever other thing that could be put smart in front of it, it ends up just jumping on the network and stuff like that, and
It does.
interrupts gaming.
Well,
It's like
and it does get annoying because I mean he does put a lot of work into making sure the certain stuff I like to use is available, and then they would just not come up for me. Like some of the speakers that I like to play in the kitchen, and downstairs while he's gaming or doing something, they just won't come up.
Mhm.
Or for me to cast something from my phone to the TV, it's just the TV wouldn't come up.
Yeah.
It was getting a bit annoying, I guess.
Yeah.
That hopefully this fixes it.
Yeah. So these are like the examples of quality of life. I don't think I can give that one back to you. Of where it's like, you know what, the stuff that we have is starting to suck, and it needs to suck less. So what do we need to do? We buy what we need to buy. We upgrade. We change out stuff. But like I said, we had internet. The internet didn't disappear. We had, stuff to kind of work for our daily life. So it wasn't necessarily where we had to like go and buy it like in July or anywhere like that. Like we can wait, we can do our research. We love doing research for a lot of products. So like if you're a friend of mine, you know me that I've looked at a lot of tech for a long time, even for like stuff like the home theater and stuff. We're still that's an ongoing process of like what do we want here? How do we want this to look? And it's not like the stuff like this is no better. Like we know this because we are Samsung users and stuff, so it's a little bit easier to trust a phone. And then it's been 8 months since the phone's been out that we could be like, okay, I think the phone's still good. We can go ahead and switch to it now that there's a sale and stuff. And we
hasn't caught a fire yet,
Yeah.
so I think it's safe to buy.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if you wait, there's always going to be opportunity and stuff to where stuff just kind of gets at a price that you would rather prefer paying for. And that kind of gives up to the next, not necessarily quality of life, but quality of me. When I want to have stuff just better, just because. And these are where I kind of get into the toy factor of being a grown adult with grown adult money. Man, one of the things that I got was this big Sonos Arc. Ha! So, not sure if anybody's seen this stuff. It's going on sale 20%, Best Buy. These normally don't go as hell at all. Sonos is like Apple. They normally don't really discount their products. They might do stuff on their end, but it's very rare that they'll take a cent off a product. If anything, all the Sonos products raised in price. This used to be 800 when it came out, but now it's 900. So it was nice to see it at 719, but even then 719 was still kind of high to kind of go for it. We have Sonos products before. I really want the Arc because of the Atmos and everything else, but we kind of understand that there are just some things where it's still a lot. $719 was still a lot of money to kind of drop for like a single sound bar and stuff. But we like to go to a place called Nebraska Furniture Mart. And Nebraska Furniture Mart, if you've ever been to one, if you're lucky to have one in your space, has a clearance section. And their clearance section is one of the best you can really go to outside of literally just going to the Best Buy outlet. But what makes their clearance items so good is that they're normally always discounted a certain amount, whatever it costs, from the said price of it. And since Sonos I had already discounted their products as a sale, they normally discount products like this a little bit further as to be fair. Normally, if they couldn't do it, they won't do it, and we're all understandable about that. But this was able to get a little bit lower to where it was at a price to where I really couldn't refuse because knowing the history of this, I've been looking at this for years, kind of really going back and forth about it. I'm not going to see it at that price again. And again, it's one of those things you waited and it worked out. The timing for this worked out so well that they also had the sub for this, the new sub 3 version that they also discounted, double, discounted. And so I ended up buying both of them for just a little bit over if I would have just bought the bar by itself. That was kind of like we can't say no to that. And then or later on we ended up buying two more Sonos products to go with the Sonos Beam so that we have a full white set that we're going to use in the game room for now.
This is the phone call that needed approval.
Yeah. So this was the phone call that was the early Black Friday deals that we were talking about, where Sonos had been already discounted this stuff for pretty much the whole not a whole month, but pretty early, and so we've been able to kind of take advantage of it. But sometimes Nebraska will just kind of grace with like a good product in the back room, and it's just like, oh, definitely we got to get it. How much it costs? Yeah, it's like it worked out. It worked out really fine, and like I said, we were able to get more products of it. We saved a lot of money and stuff. Like I said, it wasn't something that we had to get. It was something that we wanted to get. But we wait and we kind of get it.
Something you wanted to
Eh,
get.
You use these Sonos products just
I
as much
do.
as me, if not more.
I will have to admit that I do like Sonos. I like how they sound, but I like the fact that they are wireless. So
Yeah.
I do approve of them, even though they're kind of expensive. But I do prefer them over wire speakers.
Mm.
Dealing with wire speakers is just very not my favorite thing. So, but it does something we do talk about, especially when he's like, I'm gonna spend this much money. We can't say no.
And we do it, and like I said, we did. I thought I'd just bring it up here. I didn't want to show all everything, but just to kind of show if you ever go to Nebraska, it's not really like a known secret. You kind of see like how they have their prices here, blah blah blah. Works out really nice. This is the Sonos S1 model, so these are like they're a little bit better ones. Or SL, sorry, this is the SL white, and they had a lot of white ones. For some reason, they had a lot of Sonos that came back, and the good thing about what I like about Nebraska, they know why it came back because they always update the notes and everything. So exactly why they come back, and a lot of this stuff ends up being new. That's the thing when it comes to Nebraska. It's like, or why I normally buy a lot of stuff from Nebraska, is that a lot of the stuff ends up being new product because of some reason or for another. The box was dinged. They didn't want to sell it. It was a special order that was not picked up. Whatever reason, they have a lot of strange reasons why stuff is back there. But it's one of those things where it's an opportunity if you want to save it. And as long as it works, and you can buy it and take it home and blah, blah, blah. You just can't return it if you don't like it. That's really the caveat, but that's why we always wait for stuff like this. It's just stuff that's like, yeah, we need it. And
Well,
so,
you can return it if there's something wrong
yeah, well,
with
like I
it,
said, well, there's something wrong, but
but
not if
not
you don't like it.
yeah.
So,
Which Nebraska has been good to us. We've I think bought so many things on clearance, right?
well, we bought a lot of our higher end electronics and stuff like that, stuff that you kind of see. Not like a lot of this kind of stuff, like this stuff. It's really hard to kind of get discount, like the really pro stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that we normally can get very discounted. We've been able to get a lot of like kitchen stuff. We've been able to get a lot of like kind of like vacuum cleaners and stuff like that. We've been able to kind of really supplement a lot of the stuff that we need for like every day and just in like two clearance sections in Nebraska. Our couch, our
Our
bed,
couch,
like
yeah,
it's
our
it's
couch is a
everything.
good example of somebody ordered it and then didn't want to wait for it,
Yeah.
and then they just put it on clearance. So we're like, oh, it never went to somebody's home, but it's a special order, so we can't put it on the floor.
Yeah. So even though like Nebraska has like their own Black Friday deals and some of them were pretty decent, we did kind of grab some. Sometimes you still got to check clearance even around that time. Normally, when I tell people to go to Nebraska, like Nebraska is a big place, a lot of stuff to see, a lot of stuff you ain't gonna buy. Go straight to the back, see if anything there, and then go look at the rest of the store. Yeah, that's what I do. It's like I go there, beeline the clearance, make sure there's nothing in there because that could normally end my whole trip at that moment, and then I go buy some more stuff. But what else did we get? I know we got like four Sonos products in total.
Yes.
Kind of what other stuff that we get.
Yeah, I think for some Nebraska.
Yeah, for Nebraska. Well, I mean, just stuff like what else did we
Oh,
get? Kind of
we
like
have
quality
the
of life, Govee stuff. So this year, this is the first year at our new home. There's a lot of stuff that we want to update, we want to change, and all that. And there's just some little things that we kind of want to make spaces better. If you see in this room, we wanted it painted black because I kind of like how a lot of the colors are landed on black, and I like how the colors kind of hit on these Jason wall and stuff like that. So it makes kind of the room have its own little kind of flavor style. Some other rooms in the home we kind of want a little bit more or something like that, which is the thing that we're working on is the game room. So Govee is just one of those Hue products that is not, it's not Hue, but it's a Hue like product that if you just need something to work, but you don't want to pay a lot of money, you get this. There's always a lot of caveats to them. There's some caveats that you don't find out till you open the package and you're like, oh, I don't really like that. That kind of ruins my whole thing. And I've bought a lot of Govee products that are like that. However, sometimes they're really straightforward. And if you know exactly what you're going to do with this kind of guy and stuff, it's probably the quickest solution. This was $20 for a 10-foot programmable RGB light that could represent a ton of colors, individual dressing LEDs, and we are going to use that to kind of light up some of the cabinet and stuff like that. If you could control it with the app and all that, so that's kind of great. But this is kind of when we are building out a room, but we're trying to find ways to kind of give it like our own style and stuff. And sometimes we look at like deals and stuff like this. This we got at Target. Like we just kind of went to Target. We were looking for some other stuff and we ended up finding this. And I'd say, I'll buy one, like $20. We can test it, see how it works. And if there's more, then I could really buy some at regular price later. But we could buy one. If I hate it, it's Target. I can always take it back. Yeah.
But Black Friday has always been a good time to buy or try to test out those lights. Like some of the other lights that we've had, we've also gotten on Black Friday just because they're a little bit they're not super discounted, but they are when you have to buy so many of them. So if you buy one you like it and you can wait, I would recommend waiting just to see if it goes down that extra 15-20% off on Black Friday where you can get all the ones that you actually need.
And definitely Cyber Money comes up for that kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
we
that
find a
too.
lot of stuff. Like I know Prime Day, we bought a lot of stuff that we really needed. Like we wanted to do better for like home security, and I wanted to kind of buy stuff like that. So I took advantage of it and was heavily discounted and stuff. So this is kind of one of those things that we have certain spots in the home that we do want to look better, and then some parts of the home that need to be better. So this is kind of what we have a story for everything. We try to justify all the stuff that we buy to the best of our abilities. But I kind of want to grab onto that last bit of stuff and the stuff that's probably arguably the best things. And that's games themselves. Now, I have a confession to make. I only got 2 games. The games that I got was Elden Ring and Fire Emblem 3 Heroes. And you probably asked why I didn't get Elden Ring beforehand. I probably hinted at it. It's not my type of game. I want to be hard and not really kind of give you a lot for it kind of thing. Not necessarily the best, but I did want to try a lot of the new stuff in Elden Ring, blah blah blah. So I was able to find it, and then of course Fire Emblem. I had the original or like the ones before this one. Again, it was one of those as an RPG. I knew by the time it came out, I wasn't gonna have time for it. So it's kind of just buying in and not being able to play it kind of sucks. So I just said, hey, I'll wait till Black Friday. I didn't expect this to go on sale for how much it did, but Nebraska had it for $30, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll definitely snap it at then. That's kind of really interesting stuff. But I only got 2. The only reason why is because after a while, it sucks to try to just search for stuff. Like after a while, we kind of get tired. Um, we went to Best Buy at 5 in the morning, but we had to drive pretty far because we went to a very particular Best Buy. It's just really good for a lot of stuff, but we, as you saw everything before, we had other bigger things that we needed to take care of. And so I didn't get any games at Best Buy at the time. And some of the ones I wanted, I was like, yeah, that seems cool, but not cool enough. Yeah, so even then, like, you get responsible for like at the weirdest times. It's like there's just sometimes we're like, yeah, I don't really need that. And there's sometimes like I can't believe I spent that much. But for gaming, I am looking out for some other games that I do want to kind of get just to kind of play and explore and stuff like that. But this is kind of like my haul for today. We spent longer at some of the stores and just tired ourselves out some more. I'm surprised we're still waiting for the podcast, but
yeah, I'm drinking a glass of wine and going to bed after this. I'm
Yeah. So
But I think it was well, I shouldn't say it, but I think that, like, for example, Walmart normally had more games
yeah.
or a bigger section. Best Buy too, like it just seemed like they had a smaller section of where the discounted games were, or you had to actually go look for them. Which
Yeah.
I think, like Target, you were up and down the aisles because for some reason the games weren't in the electronics section. They were somewhere else, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. Walmart too, like they had them randomly placed. So
And so that's kind of one of the things. This time it was a little bit better, but the one thing I will say, because we got a lot more stuff, but there's not a lot of it that they really need to show. We updated some other stuff that's good, but they're not really as much of a big deal as kind of like some of the other stuff. Oh, what was I wanting to say? There's just a lot. I guess there's a lot to kind of go through.
we're tired.
Yeah, it's like it is one of those things. But we kind of go. Oh yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. Normally, best or stores and stuff, I would have been at Best Buy at Thursday and Walmart on Thursday. And what sucks when now everybody wants to, you know, do right by their employees and not have to work on Thanksgiving. They didn't do that when I was there. Um, it's hard to now hit multiple stores when you have to hit them all at the same time. Before it was more cruising, like we could go to Best Buy and Walmart were the first ones, and then we go to the mall at the end of the day. Then we go to sleep, pass out, and then we would go out after that's why this time we kind of did everything. We didn't come back to like 4:30, I think.
I think
Yeah.
almost
So,
5.
but we left like 3:30 in the morning to try and just go ahead and get out and just get in front of stuff. But it's one of those things where it's all like I kind of wish it was back on the old one, but I understand why they finally are not doing that. So I'm more happy about that. But normally we would have this more spaced out a little bit. And I know a lot of people that I talked to were able to get all their needs online and
Mhm.
just buy it. Like some people were
And
just were able to just buy it online.
I think that's something we need to jump on. It's just I personally like to see stuff in person and see if
Mhm.
I'm gonna like it.
Like the mirror.
Like the mirror, like stuff that's for the house, I want to see it in person because I've done it in the past where you order it online and then you have to deal with going to go return it and stuff like that. It's a hassle. So I want to know if I get it, I like it, and I'm gonna keep it. But I understand. I understand that probably we need to start jumping on the online because we
It's
did.
not like I don't, because I will Cyber Monday shop for
Well, we
sure.
did it for Cyber Monday, but how much stuff did I have to take back to UPS? It's like, yeah, because he doesn't return them. He just prints out the labels and then here you go. You go to drop them off at UPS, and
They
then
all
there I
happen on
go
my
with all the
account.
boxes.
They all happen on my account, and I do take them down there.
No,
It's
you
easier for
don't.
you because you get off work earlier than I do.
Yes, and most of the time I end up. Last time I think it was like 7 boxes I ended up taking back.
Well, I mean, because some of it was your stuff too.
Yes.
It's just like, yeah, this wasn't it. Especially if you do Amazon shopping, buying clothes is just one of those like potluck shots, even on a site like Amazon, where you're just not sure if they will fit, they're too big,
They're
whatever might
too
be the case,
small.
or they just didn't look like the picture. That we've all bought stuff like that too. But I know for some of the lights, like I said, I hinted at the Govies. I bought a lot of the Govies, and a lot of them just didn't do what I wanted to do, or the way that they did it kind of ruined the plan I had for them. And so a lot of that stuff that wasn't going to work the way that I wanted it to work. But it's, like the good thing about like online shopping with Amazon is they don't really fuss. Like you could take it back. Best Buy is probably one of the better people to take back stuff too, especially if you bought an open box or whatever. You could still take it
Mhm.
back. A lot of them don't really do like final sell. So it's a lot of them have been really good about it. Um,
No, they have. And it is. It's just it's the hassle of like you're super excited that you're gonna get this, and then when you get it, it just doesn't look like how it's supposed to look. And I mean, I'm at fault for that too because I don't like to read the dimensions, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this huge thing, and it's like, hey, why is this so?
Yeah. And sometimes it's just really hard. Like you need to see it in real life to be like this exists. Like games, I see it a little bit easier because as long as it doesn't say digital version, like you're more likely gonna get the dish. You're more likely gonna get what you paid for.
And even close, when you look at the reviews and you look at somebody else's picture, like it looks fantastic, and then you get yours and you're like,
yeah,
it does not look fantastic. That was totally Photoshop.
Black Friday yawns are starting to hit me. So it's like we're starting to get to that point. But yeah, I mean, we always have fun going on Black Friday. We normally get the things that we need. If I can get more stuff for gaming, I will. Like I've always gotten controllers. I always gotten a lot of games.
I think that was a disappointing part this year. There was not a lot of like the gaming headphones.
What stuff like missed opportunities that we did want to upgrade. Like I do want to upgrade my headphones I normally use for the computer. Like I have some more higher quality ones that really work really well, but I wanted some more actual gaming focused ones that I want to replace. I use the HyperX, but like the HyperX are like they're like a stopgap. I like good audio and stuff to really kind of pop out. And I was hoping to kind of do a little bit better on that one. And then especially like keyboards and stuff like that. You know, there's some stuff I did want to kind of upgrade, and some of the deals just weren't like really all that strong. Like I love my MX Master. It works really well, but I want the new MX Master. Still haven't seen it really go down. Like maybe like $10, $20, but like not from like $100 mouse.
Well,
it's like doesn't make
I
sense.
wanted to get a new mouse and a new headset as well, since I prefer the gaming headset for work because it has a mic.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't find one that was like, I mean, they were like maybe like $10 off.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's not. I mean, but normally they would be like 50% off, 60% off, and it's like none of the Corsair stuff was on sale this year.
And one of the things, like I was really hoping for some better home theater stuff on sale. I really wanted to kind of walk away some stuff. It is wishful thinking, but it's the thing that we normally need the most help on, because it's like we're now in price brackets, you know, no man should go. And it's like we're just looking for somebody to give silver spoon. And sometimes it'd be like, I'll tell you what, we'll get rid of the change. You're welcome. And it's like, no, it's 12. No, it's just too. I need.
At least give us free shipping or free installation. Something.
Oh yeah, we did not. There was a table that we wanted to use for like a bar table, and we did not get it because even though like the table itself went down in price by a lot, it was clearance. Everything about it was nice. It was only $247, and they wanted almost $200 to ship it. And it was just kind of like, God, it defeats the purpose at that point. It's like, no, that's a lot. I couldn't bring it. We would have to have bought a lot of stuff.
It would make sense to pay shipping if we were getting the couches and the table and something else. And sure, you know, at that point, you know, the $200 in shipping, that's not that bad. But when the table and the shipping is almost the same price, it's kind of hard. Yeah, we need to get a truck.
Well, yeah, we that's one thing that we'll never be on Black Friday, but it's something that we probably hope to kind of get later on. But even if we had the truck, I mean, it was one of the things that was already assembled. There was no way for us to take it home, so it's like definitely sending it home was the best route, but it was far too expensive.
It didn't make sense since we were getting something else to make it worth it, and we quite frankly that's something that, you know, you kind of find you didn't expect to get, so we weren't really prepared, and we're like, I really don't want to spend the extra $200.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier to be restrained when the price is so ridiculous. You're just kind of like, yeah, no, all right, like you talked me out of it. Like I was interested, I was with you, and then you gave me that, and now I'm done.
Like one guy, they always make fun of me because they took me to, it was him and your friend. They took me to a furniture store because we were looking for couches. And the guy's like, "Yes, it is on sale." And I was like, "That is not a good enough sale."
It was they tried to pass it at a $8,000 couch, and it was like 4,000. So to them, it was 50%. But to us, we were just looking at the couch itself. It's like, I don't care what this couch does. I don't care what material went in. It feels hard as hell. It barely looks like a good centerpiece. Like by itself, it barely looked like a good centerpiece you put in a second living room. And so it was just like, discounted or not, no. It's all like that. How much does everything else cost in this store? It was like, no, we're not doing that. Like there's just sometimes it's just real easy just to be no. And there's sometimes it's hard to say no. Like
Yeah.
I found another sound thing. Like I got the arc, but I found another thing that was gonna complete kind of like the gaming room setup, or at least the living room setup that would have just been done. But
Yeah,
cost
really
some money,
got
even with the clearance, even with everything priced down. We couldn't really do it, and I think I was just sour after all, like kind of leaving the store because like, well, didn't get my thing, and it's like, but it's like one of those things where it's all like, yeah,
if we would
there's
have
sometimes
gotten
like
it.
we're not made out of money, and we
Yeah.
don't we want to also be more manageable and stuff. We sometimes, even though like a good deal, if we're not ready for it, then we just can't take advantage of it.
We're so responsible. We plan and we save
Mhm.
for Black Friday, but at the same time, we also don't expect to use up all our extra cash. We
Yeah.
make sure I restrain you. I don't need any restraining. I normally restrain myself.
Yeah, you have a problem of not buying stuff for yourself, even though you really want it.
Yes,
And
the phone was up.
it gets really annoying. And me, I'm sitting here like, please, this could be for me. Like I want thing. It's like there's just some things where it's all like we're very polar opposites in a lot of stuff, but sometimes my convincing and her just kind of thinking, yeah, well, I think I know if I found a way that I can use it, kind of helps me in the middle a little bit when we kind of buy those really hard ones. The Sonos Arc was one of those things. It was just one of those like, we want to replace the bar. We had the very first bar of Sonos and stuff, and I'm like, I need Atmos.
I've been saying no to you for a few.
Since it's been out, you've been saying
Yeah,
no to
I've
me
been
since it's
saying
been
no
out.
to him since I was like, we don't need it. We don't need it. You can wait.
And I-
It'll go on sale eventually. You'll find it on. And
Oh.
I mean, I couldn't say no.
Yeah,
But
it was just one of those things. It is fun. Like we have fun conversations when we talk about like kind of buying something and stuff. I think some of the people that help us just kind of they're there with popcorn in their hand, trying to see like how I'm going to try and get out of this argument or whatever. But some of the stuff kind of works out really well, and some that were we have buyer's remorse a little bit. You had buyer's remorse on the phone as soon as you like walked out of the store, and you're like, oh, I bought a phone. It's like, you just realized you did a thing.
I wasn't in the mentality of like, I need to upgrade my phone. I was kind of forced to, and that I kind of hate that part. That I didn't want to upgrade my phone. I was forced to upgrade it, and I was like, but I didn't break my phone. My phone was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You all broke my phone.
So, it's one of those things. Black Friday's always been a good deal for us. We always go out, even if we don't get a lot of stuff. Well, we really didn't get like a big haul this time around. There were just some stuff that absolutely we needed to kind of fix some stuff, do better. And, I couldn't be more happier for it.
Hopefully it improves our way of life, which is what we now aim for.
Our way of life.
Yeah. I feel like if there's gamers out there starting out, Black Friday is a good opportunity to, if you're doing the computers, right, get your setup.
That was another store we couldn't go to, Micro Center, to go because we need to upgrade. You need a computer. I need to upgrade mine. but
Mm.
they're not cheap endeavors. Like, and we don't want to just buy a lot of pre-built stuff because we know how long those kind of last and stuff. And the one that I built has been kind of kicking around, and I only replaced the graphic card on it. So there's just some stuff that even now we still didn't do that we really need to do. We're always gonna have a list of stuff that we need to like actually kind of improve on.
But we plan. But
Yeah,
that's something that'll just stay on the list for us to plan ahead. And
yeah.
say like, let's see if we find it throughout the year at a good deal, great. If not, then
Mhm.
we can wait till Black Friday.
Yeah, and that's normally where we start like throwing out hustler money out of nowhere. But that's kind of all I wanted to kind of say. Thank you, Laura, for kind of joining on. Basically, I like Black Friday for a lot of the gaming stuff. When I was younger, it really helped me get a lot more stuff. When I'm older, it helps me kind of get the right stuff more. And as I and my interests change, like outside of gaming, Black Friday kind of helps me kind of keep both things together. And so it's just one of those things where like I kind of realized kind of the stuff that we got this time. Yeah, we did get a lot of tech. We always get a lot of tech, but we also like, well, we have a story for this and this and this. And then you see like my wants, you see they kind of get smaller, smaller as the years go by. Probably won't be like that next time, but you know, we are paying for a house now and stuff like that. So it kind of changes the budget a little bit of what we can
And we have
take on
to
and stuff. So
sacrifice some stuff.
so that's kind of I just kind of wanted to kind of talk about that. That's have a good Black Friday episode. Like, just kind of want to see what y'all got and all that. So in the comments, if you see this video later, like post op or whatever, let us know if you did go Black Friday shop. Let us know if you got stuff. Did you get up in the morning to go get it? Well, what are the things that you miss by a hair? Because there are some things where it's like I left a thing that I decided I didn't want it. As soon as I turned my back, it was already gone. And that's the beauty of Black Friday right there. There's always everybody looking for an opportunity.
Mhm.
So I will take the opportunity now to go ahead. We're going to end it here a little bit earlier. We are very tired. And much as I want to talk about like Black Friday for 2 hours and stuff like that, this is one of those things where like it can't really go on too much more. We didn't buy a lot of stuff, so we enjoyed it. We got with stuff that we need, and we have fun. Hopefully, you have fun in the podcast. Hopefully, this episode might have helped. Kind of, talk about this how we kind of get about stuff, and maybe you can apply that to your own daily lives. If you can, I kind of want to hear it. So please put that in the chat. If you're on YouTube, kind of hit us up on YouTube to kind of say it. If you're on Twitch, we'll see you on the next stream. So like, kind of give me your answers there if you can't give it right now. But we do really appreciate it. Thank you for watching Gaming Over 30 today. And we will be here next week. Hopefully Chris feels better and we can kind of have another conversation because there's also some other topics that we do need to get to that I didn't want to kind of get on today. So with that, everybody, I appreciate it. Thank you.